Died. I one-shot the Eternatus. Holy shit, that's great. One of the very few restricted matchups I think Solgaleo is actually good into is Eternatus, funny enough. He just goes for Thunder Cage to get rid of me, so... I trade a restricted for a non-restricted, so that's fine. I also get Tailwind up. What is up, everybody? Back with some more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Regulation G VGC. Solgaleo is an interesting restricted in the Regulation G format just because you don't see it very much, just mainly because the main things it's actually weak to, mainly being Calyrex Shadow, is almost on like every single team. And even then, a lot of non-restricted Pokemon that are also really common in the format. Stuff like Urshifu Dark, Flutter Mane, Incineroar, and there's a few others that are also really good into Solgaleo, and Solgaleo is really weak to them. So they're on a lot of teams and they have a lot of usage. So it just makes Solgaleo's life really difficult unless you really need to build around this thing to kind of make it work. So that being said, though, it actually is a pretty solid restricted if you can build around it. It's kind of what we're going to try to showcase today. It's a team by Ethan, so if you guys want to try to use this team does not have a pokepaste, so keep that in mind. There is only a rental code for this team. So if you guys want to use this team rental code up in the corner, I'm going to kind of break the team down and we're going to hop in some games. It's been a while since I've featured Solgaleo for you guys, and I was at one of the very few Solgaleo teams I've actually been able to find that people are actually trying to build around this thing, and I haven't seen many people try to actually attempt that at all. So I'm going to kind of break this team down and we're going to hop in some games. You got the Solgaleo on this team. This one's just kind of more of an offensive Solgaleo with Life Orb. You also have the Terra Dark there, just to kind of have a better matchup into a lot of your Ghost types. It's meant to kind of turn the tables on a lot of the stuff that normally would be really good into you. Stuff like mainly Calyrex Shadow and like Cali Shadow, and then there's a few other things that Terra Dark is also pretty good into that are being played currently. So overall, I don't know if it's really the best Terra to really Terra into, because a lot of the stuff that's also Ghost type usually runs Fairy coverage for Dark types. So it's kind of something that I don't think it really works that well some of the time. So we're going to see how it does, though. It's a cool concept and kind of a cool thought process, but we'll see how it does. Apart from that, just running fully offensive with this Mon. Sunsteel Strike, the signature move for Solgaleo. Hits really hard, a really hard hitting steel type move, and they got Psychic Fangs there for solid Psychic type damage, and you can also break screens with that as well if you happen to be going against that, which are pretty common on stuff like Sableye, Grimmsnarl, and then you also have Alola Ninetales that also sets the Roar Veil too, which is pretty common. The AV Raging Bolt on this team is a really standard set with Terra Blast Fairy. Covert Cloak Tornadus, you also have the Taunt on this one. Just mainly there to give this team some speed control, because without Tailwind, this team's actually pretty slow. So that's going to be really crucial for getting this team to actually work. Citrus Berry Primarina with Terra Poison. Overall, I don't know if Primarina is really going to be that good in Regulation G. I think this thing's kind of power crept in Regulation G format, especially a lot of other water types. But we're going to see if it actually works. Has a really good typing of Fairy and Water. Water Fairy typing is incredibly good. But overall, I think this, at least for Regulation G, I think it's stat-wise a little bit power crept. We'll find out how it works, though. I haven't really used it at all or seen it being played, so maybe we can make it work. Just your typical Urshifu single strike with the Focus Sash, just kind of a standard set, and the main set I actually run on a lot of mine. This one's actually level 49, so it's not level 50, so that might be a bit of a problem actually with this team, especially using this on the casual ladder. So we're going to see how that does. It's not actually level 50, which is already a red flag going into this. And then you got the Ogerpon Hearthflame on this team, just overall really standard set with this one. Actually, instead of like Sword Stance, actually has Stomping Tantrum for coverage. So we'll see how that does. Apart from that, let's hop in some games. Alright, we're here with the game. We are going against the copy-paste rental for Miraidon Regulation G team. So Miraidon, Ogerpon Fire, Iron Hands, Frigoraph, Whimsicott, and Urshifu. So This team actually does not have much for Miraidon. I think the best thing on this team is the AV Raging Bolt to kind of try to check the Miraidon. So I think that's what I'm going to have to try to use to kind of check that for this match. So I'm going to bring the Raging Bolt for sure here. What else do I want to bring? I just have a bad matchup into my opponent's team. This team is not really the greatest into Miraidon. I've had a few Miraidon games already that I've played against it in a couple of my testing games, and this team really is not the greatest into Miraidon. It has one okay check to Miraidon. Apart from that, it doesn't really do well into it at all. Especially being that the team is kind of more of a mid-tier speed team, so a lot of your Miraidon teams are a lot faster. So you just get outsped automatically a lot of the time. What I want to bring here. I think I just bring Eternatus for Tailwind. I'll bring Solgaleo in the back, and then I think I'm just going to bring Ogerpon. I don't know if it really matters what I really bring here. Urshifu was okay into him, but being that I'm level 49, it just doesn't make sense really bringing it here. Unless it's like incredibly good into my opponent's team, I'm not going to bring a level 49 Urshifu. If you guys like the videos, leave a like, subscribe, share the video, really helps with the channel. He just leads Iron Hands, Miraidon, okay. I think the main question is, like, I'm kind of forced to Terra here. Does he go Terra Fairy Miraidon here? That's the question. And, like, does he actually predict me to go Terra Fairy Raging Bolt? I don't know. I got Terrain Boosted Thunderbolt though, which is really nice. I'm just gonna go Terra Fairy, Terra Blast. I think I'm just gonna go Terra Fairy, Terra Blast here, and then I'm gonna set my Tailwind. I don't know if under a Tailwind, if the Raging Bolt will actually outspeed him. Usually they don't. They're like just your typical Miraidon max speed. I hope when he fakes out the Eternatus too here would be great. Doesn't though. That does a lot of damage. Bolt switches out, it just fucking one-shots me. I don't know, maybe the crit mattered, and I don't think it did though. If he specs, I don't think it did. Usually these copy-paste rental teams, they're all specs Miraidon. So if he specs, that didn't matter though. Wasn't a Whimsicott, so I'm actually in a decent spot here for the Solgaleo to come in. He might have, like, was a heavy slam, I think is what the Iron Hands gets. I just go for Terra Blast here. I Terra Blast. Do a solid amount of damage, and I got Sunseal Strike. If he goes for Light Screen, I got Psychic Fangs to break his screen. We'll see if he Sash Whimsicott here. But under Tailwind, I'm in a pretty good spot here. I gotta really try to maximize my Tailwind turns though, until the Miraidon comes in again, because once it comes in, like, I just don't really have much for it, especially if he starts doing a lot of damage to the Raging Bolt and wears me down. Like, I'm not gonna be able to take that many hits, even with an AV. Light Screen, that's fine. I got Psychic Fangs, so I can get rid of that on this next turn. If you're not Sash, you're dead. Goodbye, get out of here. Huge one-shot. I don't know, we'll see if I can actually 2-hit KO this Iron Hands behind the screen. Wow, that doesn't, that's Assault Vest. That's Assault Vest for sure. For sure Assault Vested. I gotta go for Psychic Fangs, I gotta get rid of these screens. See what his last mon is. Frigoraph, that's fine actually. That's actually perfect for me. I'm fine with Frigoraph. Electric Seed's kind of annoying, but like you don't really do much to Raging Bolt, so I just double into the Iron Hands here. I go for the Psychic Fangs. I also have knockoff for this too, and I don't know if he actually kills me. So I just double into Iron Hands here. That's a 2-hit KO. With no screen, you're dead for sure. Like, if he doesn't kill the Solgaleo here, I get a huge knockoff onto something this next turn. Because I have 1 turn of Tailwind left. Never mind, he has Trick Room. Okay. I don't know if that's really the greatest thing, though. Like, I can just protect. Like, it's not that big of an issue. Like, he's choice specs, he has to be. So, like, it depends what he really locks himself into here. And then, like, does he Terra on this turn, too? I don't know. I can't Thunderclap because of the Armor Tail, so I think I'm just going to go for a Thunderbolt here onto the Frigoraph, and that is Protect here. I think the Trick Room, in the end, actually fucks him over more than me, because I should be able to live any hit here if he's Terra Fairy, which I think he is. That's why I didn't want to go for Terra Blast Fairy, because I didn't know he was going to Terra on this turn. Take advantage of his terrain, too, because I think his terrain runs out here after this turn ends. Foul Play, okay. If I can just one-shot the Frigoraph here, that'd be great. Dazzling Gleam. So he's going to lock himself into Dazzling Gleam over like an electric type move. I'm AV, so I should eat this. I eat it pretty well. That's specs, though. 100% specs. Thunderbolt doesn't do enough damage. Now that the Tailwind's gone, I think I actually outspeed him here, so... I have Ogre-Pawn in the back, too, so that's perfect for me, actually. I just Thunderbolt. I think I just Thunderbolt here, and then if I somehow live, I'll knock off. Actually, knockoff would have been a bad play there because he has no item, so it doesn't matter, but that was actually a bad play. I should have went for Sunseal Strike. In Trick Room, I outspeed the Miraidon into 2-hit KO. I think I should live a Dazzling Gleam here. He gets a high roll, and I die for it, okay. I think I still win, though. Unless Foul Play is a 2-hit KO, I should still win. Because under Trick Room, I outspeed Miraidon for sure. It just comes down to if Foul Play is a 2-hit KO. I could also Horn Leech too to get my health back here, which would be really nice. I just don't know if it one-shots him from that range. I know Ivy Cudgel probably does, but Horn Leech is a lot more weak. It's only 75 instead of 100. I think I gotta go for Ivy Cudgel. I don't know if Horn Leech will actually get the KO. Just goes for Psychic Noise, that's fine. I'm glad I never went for Horn Leech, though. If I would have went for Horn Leech, I wouldn't been able to actually use it here, so... I made a really good play because he tried to lock me out of going for Horn Leech. It wouldn't have worked if I would have been affected with Psychic Noise here, so... I don't know how he one-shots me here. I think I just win. How many turns of Trick Room do I have? He has 1 turn. I just spike Shield here. I spike his Shield and I just win. I think in the end, my opponent actually fucked himself over there with setting up Trick Room. I think he was better off not even setting up the Trick Room and just doing damage. I think that's where he really misplayed. Because in the end, the Trick Room actually benefited me more than him because the Miraidon was way faster than everything on my team anyways. And in Trick Room, that allowed me to outspeed the Miraidon, which is this big threat that was doing all of the damage. So, Ivy Cudgel, I just win. Even with the defense boost, I don't think it matters, and he just surrenders, okay. I played really good. I deserve this win. This team really doesn't do the greatest into Miraidon, but if you can play really good like that, and then my opponent misplayed there too with the Trick Room play, but even if he wouldn't have did it, I think I still maybe would have won. It would have been a lot closer of a game, but I deserve that win. Really solid game. I'll see you guys in another one. Alright, we're here at the match. We're going against a Groudon Regulation G team. Urshifu, Tornadus, Incineroar, Groudon, Rillaboom, and Fluttermane. This is a really bad match for Solgaleo. Solgaleo in this match, if I want to do anything, is forced to go Terra Dark. And even then, I don't really do that much to him at all. This is a terrible matchup for Solgaleo, it really is. Ogerpon, on the other hand, is really good into my opponent's team. Ogerpon looks really nice. I kind of want to just lead Tornadus here. Tornadus, Ogerpon. It's really good into my opponent's team. Especially under Tailwind, if I can get a Tailwind rolling, like Terra Fire Ogerpon looks really nice. What else do I want to bring here? I think Raging Bolt is okay here. Apart from the Groudon, apart from that, it's decent in my opponent's team. I think I'm going to bring it. I don't even know if I want to bring Solgaleo here, like it just doesn't do much. Solgaleo just doesn't do anything. I think I might actually bring the Primarine over Solgaleo. This is just a terrible matchup. It's kind of the problem with Solgaleo, like it's just so terrible into a lot of these more common restricteds being used. Groudon's another one. Like a lot of the stuff that pairs alongside Groudon too just wrecks it really bad, like Flutter Mane and Ogerpon. Incineroar and all those. Just gonna lead with Groudon, that's fine. I'm fine with him leading Groudon here. The only shitty thing is that it kind of restricts me from going for a Terra because I'm in a shitty spot now where I get hit by a Bleak Wind Storm here. Or if I go Terra Fire, I get hit in the face with a Precipice Blades. So, kind of in a bit of a bad spot here. I kind of want to just go for Bleak Wind Storm here, actually, just for chip damage. Yeah, I'd go for Taunt and just shut down his own Tornadus, but I don't know if I really want to do that here. I think it is Tailwind. I match the Tailwind here, and then I just go for Spiky Shield to see what the Groudon wants to do. You could be a Terra Steel too, predicting a Grass type move. Just Terra Fire. I'm glad I never went Terra. That's fine by me. I think we're just gonna match Tailwinds here. If he goes for Precipice Blades, so like I don't take any damage here, so I got a free turn pretty much. And I also baited a Terra. Okay, Eruption's bad. Eruption is not what I want. Special Groudon, and he crits me. The crit might have actually mattered there. That might have mattered. Wow. That's crazy. Well, I'm gonna go into Raging Bolt now for sure, though. This Tornadus is kind of in a shitty spot because if he attacks me, he has to be really careful because Thunderclap one-shots him. So I don't know if you know if he attacks me here. He might just straight up switch out into Instant. I think if that's the case too, I think I kind of want to go Terra Fairy here. I want to Terra Fairy. I'm not going to attack the Tornadus. I think I'm just going to go for Thunderbolt here onto the Groudon. I think it does more damage. And then Ivy Cudgel the Tornadus, I think probably just one-shots him. He's going to withdraw the Groudon, actually, okay. That makes me think it's Specs. Goes into Urshifu here. If only I predicted this switch in, I would have went for Terra Fairy, but I think this still is 2-hit KO, so... Take a fuck ton of damage. Air Cutter. That's a new one. He's running Air Cutter because it doesn't get its accuracy checked in the sun. I crit him for his efforts too. I don't think the crit mattered there. I think you're for sure getting one-shotted no matter what. Thunderbolt just one-shots Urshifu on switch in. What a play. He's not even Sash. That's shocking. Usually there's Sash. So I get 2 KOs. One of them for free, pretty much, so... Okay, Flutter Mane's annoying. I don't know. I think under Tailwind though. Like I think I just go for. I just go for like Thunder Clap here onto the Groudon. That way, if he goes for Eruption, it's reduced damage. I get the +1 boost already in the Sun too, so it's gonna hit even harder. And then it's Ivy Cudgel the Flutter Mane here. Like I don't know Flutter Mane. Like unless he's Choice Specs, I don't know if he actually kills the Ogerpon from this range. That does over half. Yeah, the Ogerpon lives, so you're dead. He's Life Orb too, so you're for sure dead here. Goodbye. He's actually running. That tells me I think he's Specs, so that crit on the Tornadus probably didn't matter if he was Choice Specs Groudon. Give my opponent credit though, he's running Special Groudon, which is crazy. Like what I do here is I just spam Thunderclap. If he specs, he's taking damage anyways, and I just go for a helping hand here. He surrenders, so he's Choice Specs, okay. Normally this wouldn't be a match I usually win because this team really struggles into Groudon, but I played really well. And I think overall what really helped us is we got 2 clean KOs there. We were able to get rid of the Tornadus, and then the Urshifu getting killed on switch-in was just so good for us. And like being Special Groudon too there was also a lot better because I never had to worry about Precipice Blades. So that was really nice for me too. I just ended up having a good matchup into that type of stuff my opponent was trying to go for, so not bad. I'll take a win. 2-0 so far, at least the ones you guys are probably going to see, so we're doing really good. Keep on going. Alright, we hear the game. We're going against an Eternatus Regulation G team. Eternatus, Regieleki, Kingambit, Tinkaton, Urshifu, and Farigiraf. It's actually a really good matchup for Solgaleo. Solgaleo in Tailwind actually looks really nice here. Especially with Terra Dark. I got Terra Dark for the Farigiraf. Probably just one-shots Farigiraf with the knockoffs. That's really nice. Looks really good here, actually. I'm going to bring the Solgaleo Tornadus. I also have Taunt on the Tornadus, too, for the Eternatus, if he wants to try to do it. Going for, like, Cosmic Power garbage or anything like that. So that's really nice. What else do I want to bring here? I think I bring Ogerpon for Kingambit and the Tinkaton. What else do I want to bring here? I think Raging Bolt also looks really nice here. Urshifu ain't bad either. It's okay here, but I don't really want to bring it if I don't have to, unless it just absolutely wrecks my opponent's team because it's a level below 50. So I'm bringing it and I'm putting myself at a disadvantage. It's actually the main flaw with this team actually is I think it's the Urshifu being under-leveled. A lot of times I kind of want to bring it sometimes, but I just don't bring it over something else because it's a level below 50. Regieleki Eternatus. That's actually a really good lead for me. I'm just going to start going for Psychic Fangs. Like, I don't really give a fuck what the Regieleki really wants to do here. I'm assuming it's probably screens if I were to guess. So I have Psychic Fangs for that here too. I just go for Psychic Fangs here onto the Eternatus, and I go for Tailwind. He starts setting up on me, I have Taunt. I know it's kind of tempting for him to just try to kill the Tornadus turn 1 too. So he might just attack me here instead of setting up a screen. It's taking a long time to decide. I one-shot the Eternatus. Holy shit, that's great. One of the very few restricted matchups I think Solgaleo is actually good into is Eternatus, funny enough. He just goes for Thunder Cage to get rid of me, so I trade a restricted for a non-restricted, so that's fine. I also get Tailwind up. I'm fine with that. Raging Bolt comes in here for free. I'm in a really solid spot here. Gub, what is that? Okay, that's Frigoraph. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. Here's where the Terra Dark comes in clutch. I'm going for Terra Dark. Terra Dark knockoff. We're going for it right now. And I'm just going to go for Dragon Pulse here onto the Regieleki. We're going for it. I don't really need the Steel typing anymore. It's okay into the Tinkaton if he has that in the back, but the Eternatus was the main thing I needed kind of Steel typing to prevent the poison moves for. So I don't really need it that much in this game. I want to just one-shot this Frigoraph. Get this thing out of here. Get it out of here. Bop, get one-shotted into next week, bud. Solgaleo putting in the work. Throat spray. No spray at this point. He's going to Volt Switch out. That does okay damage, but whatever's coming in is taking some... Unless you have Tinkaton coming in, you're going to be taking damage. Crinkle. Who's that? You're taking a Dragon Pulse to the face, bud. That's a 2-hit KO. I think it's at the point now where, too, like, I can just spam Thunderclap. That's what I do here. I still have 2 turns of Tailwind left. I got Psychic Fangs on deck. I think I just knock off the Regieleki here, though, and then I spam Thunderclap. Opponent's kind of backed into a corner because he's going to start really lacking damage here once the Urshifu drops. And he doesn't even know my last Mon yet, which kind of just wraps up the game anyways. Unless you're Terra Ground, you ain't living this, though. Are you Terra Ground or Shifu? Okay, this thing's gonna go Terra. He's gonna go Terra Electric on in my face. So we know you have Volt Switch and Thunder Cage. I don't know what other 2 moves you have. He's gonna go for a Detect, okay. In Tailwind, though, like, I outspeed you and you're getting knocked off, so... Depends what your item is. Sash. So it doesn't matter, but... Fortunately, the Solgaleo drops here, but it's fine. I have 1 more turn of Tailwind left, too, and I have to just... I can just spam Thunderclap against Urshifu here, and like he's forced to attack me, so... If he doesn't attack me, then it's a 1v2 on this next turn. I don't know what the Regieleki has to one-shot both of these Mons. You're not going to one-shot me even with the Terra boost. There's Horn Leech here. I Horn Leech, and then I Thunderclap again. I think that's just him. I think he surrenders. Especially being like that I'm AV Raging Bolt. I don't know how he wins. Yeah, he surrenders. Get wrecked. Absolutely fucking wrecked. Solgaleo putting in a shit ton of work. Like I said, one of the very few matchups Solgaleo is actually good into is versus Eternatus. Eternatus is not really that common currently, though, which is kind of the problem. It's good into it, but like you don't really see it very much. Once in a while you do, but it's not really worth running Solgaleo. Just try to go against Eternatus once in a while. Talk a little bit about this team. Alright, as for this team, you guys want a really solid team around Solgaleo. I was going to say Eternatus. Solgaleo is actually a really solid team. I think the main thing that obviously needs to be changed is I think this team was meant to be used on the ranked ladder, but the main thing that needs to be changed is the Urshifu needs to be leveled up to level 50, so that way it's not at a 1 level disadvantage. That's the main obvious thing that needs to be fixed with this team. Apart from that, though, I think overall this team is actually really solid. A really solid Solgaleo team. The main issue with Solgaleo is it's just not really that good into a lot of the matchups currently. But if you can play it really well, you can kind of bypass that and you can still do a lot in the majority of your matches. There were some games where I just played really good and my opponent either made a few bad plays or they just got outplayed by me, and I was able to win some of the more bad matchups this team really had. So it's possible to still win even a lot of your like more bad matchups if you do play well and you can kind of outplay your opponent, which is really nice. So I just think Solgaleo is just a really cool mod too. It's just another one of those mods you just held back by like the #1 mod in the format, like at least top 3 mod in the format, Calyrex Shadow. If Calyrex Shadow wasn't legal, I think you'd actually see Solgaleo being used. It's another one of those restricted that's just kind of entirely held back by that by itself. That's why you're never going to really be seeing it very much, but it does have a lot of potential. Like Full Metal Body being immune to Intimidate, not having to run a clear amulet is also really nice to have when it's Incineroars on a lot of these teams. So, cool mon. I don't know about the Terra Dark though. The Terra Dark's kind of situational. The only thing I think the Terra Dark's mainly for is just to nuke Frigoraph, which is pretty common on a lot of teams. It hits really hard and it one-shots most Frigoraph builds unless they're like either Grassy Seed or like Psychic Seed or Electric Seed. Apart from that, all the other builds, you just one-shot with knockoff with Terra Dark boost. So I think that's mainly what it's for. I'm not 100% sure though. That's at least the times I used it. Most of the time, just a one-shot Frigoraph in a few of my games. So had a few testing games where this team struggled. I went against a Calyrex Ice team, a Trick Room, like a really hard Trick Room Calyrex Ice team, and I got absolutely fucking wrecked by that. Not really surprised. There was 1 or 2 other things too I kind of struggled with in some of my testing games, but overall though, like I think the games you guys seen, this team actually did a lot better than I thought it was going to. So I think that was just mainly because I was playing really well though. If I wasn't playing super well tonight, I think the team would have struggled a lot more, but I was playing really well in a lot of my games, so it kind of made the team a lot better than it was, I think, overall. So if you guys want to use this team does not have a paste, but rental code up in the corner, use the team. Really solid team. Just wish Solgaleo was more viable. I think it's a really cool restricted, but just held back by having a lot of bad matchups currently in the restricted format and Calyrex Shadow being a thing. So if you guys like the video, leave a like, subscribe, share the video. I usually stream over here usually on Friday and Saturday nights around 9 EDST as well. Usually Fridays I usually stream Overwatch 2, Apex Legends, Warframe, a bunch of other stuff, and then Saturday nights we stream Wi-Fi battles over here, VGC or singles, 6v6. So if that interests you guys, subscribe. I also stream on Twitch once in a while. Link that down below. Apart from that, I'm out of here. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for watching.